marital and premarital counseling.
One kind of counseling that all ministers have to do from time to time, actually get to do, it's a pleasant kind, is premarital counseling. Let me address that issue in this next video.
Before you ever agree to marry anyone, you need to sit down and make a list in your mind of the people that you will marry or not marry. This is important before the first person ever asks you to do a wedding. Will you marry, for example, those outside of your church? Will you marry people who are unbelievers? Will you marry people who are living together? Will you marry people who are underage, even if they have the permission of their parents? Will you marry people who are mentally disabled? Will you marry people who have been divorced? Will you marry people who are convicted felons? Will you marry people who are addicts? These decisions must be made before you agree to marry anyone. Now let me give you 3 nevers of weddings. Never commit to a wedding over the telephone. Many times couples will try to deceive you about their situation. Never commit to a wedding when asked by a third party, such as a mother of the bride. Make sure that the bride wants a church wedding. Never commit to a wedding until you have met both parties together. Sometimes one will want to be married by a pastor in a church and the other will not be. Have definite standards before you agree to marry anyone. Now, what kind of standards am I talking about? First of all, you need to have rules about the sort of people you were married, as we discussed a moment ago. But you also have to have rules about what you expect of people when they marry. Third, you need to have rules about the conduct of a wedding. How will the wedding be performed? Now, what should we expect from them? We should expect honesty, a recognition that this is a Christian marriage. Let them know that you're not performing a wedding, but the ritual of a Christian marriage. A commitment to sexual purity before marriage, and a commitment to faithfully in counseling appointments and in assignments. What should the couple expect from us? We should be honest with them as well. We should let them know whether or not we're going to do the service, for example. We should be willing to go through the ceremony once we have promised to do so. And finally, we should show professionalism in all we do during the wedding. Now let's discuss the basics of the premarital counseling sessions. During the first session, I hold an initial interview to determine the eligibility of the couple to be married under my own standards and the standards of the church. Second, I get to know the couple and help them to get to know each other. Many couples have never really struggled with their relationship until they come to premarital counseling. Third, I educate them towards the biblical basis of marriage. This usually takes at least 1 or 2 sessions. Then I deal with money and specific marital issues, including sex, communication, role plays, and other matters such as children, parents that are specific to the couple. And finally, I discuss the details of the wedding. I don't bring up the details of the wedding until the last service, the last session.
Studies have shown that couples that go through premarital counseling stay together longer and are better prepared for marriage. It is not just our duty to marry people as pastors, but it is also our duty to get them ready for marriage. Don't neglect premarital counseling. It's vitally important to you and to your counselees.